you're new to Assassin's Creed Shadows, there is a lot going on in the game, some for which can feel a little bit overwhelming. So, my objective today is to showcase a couple of tips and tricks that will help make your life easier along the way. No faffing around, let's dive straight in. First things first, there's a couple of settings you're going to want to change to make your life a little bit easier as you play through the whole of Assassin's Creed Shadows. If we go into settings, you have the option to turn auto loot on. Now what this does is just saves you having to go to every single enemy who has dropped some kind of resource. When this is turned on, you'll loot all the nearby enemies rather than just that one, saving you a bit of time going around and scavenging. I believe this also recovers your kunai knives and your shurikens. Then as you progress through the game, you'll notice there are a couple of side objectives with these quick time events. These are fun, but after doing them 10, 15 times, they can get a little bit tedious. So going back into the settings, you can make them slightly easier, or you can just turn the quick time events off entirely. You don't lose anything, you're not penalized for turning them off. The whole sequence will just play out as it was meant to. You also have the option to turn motion blur and chromatic aberration on or off. I think I'm in one of the very small band camps that enjoys having it turned on, but here is the difference between having it on and having it turned off. I guarantee you a quarter of the people watching this aren't going to be able to tell a difference. After completing the prologue, your objectives shouldn't necessarily be to rush the story, but getting to the point where you can unlock Yasuke also unlocks a bunch of other things. In your hideout, you have the option to build various types of buildings, and after unlocking Yasuke, you get the option to build the Terror. Building this will increase the amount of experience gained by 10%, and that buff continues throughout your entire playthrough. While you're here, you may also want to consider upgrading the stables to decrease the amount of scouts needed for finding locations and tagging resources to 1 scout rather than 2. And while you're here upgrading everything, you should also tap the subscribe button to upgrade our relationship and stay up to date. Over the last couple of minutes, I brought up the word scouts a couple of times. For anybody who's new to the game, Assassin's Creed Shadows introduces the scouts mechanic to help you track locations and tag resources so that you can upgrade your hideout and get a bunch of other benefits and buffs. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this one because I have an entire video showcasing how to unlock all 9 scouts in the game, some of which are really easy, some of which are a little bit more complicated. But just to give you a bit of a head start, after unlocking the hideout, you'll get 1 scout, you'll get another 2 as you exit the hideout for the first time and you interact with these chaps here, and then you can build the study and upgrade it twice, giving you a total of 6 scouts at your disposal, and then the last 3 can be obtained through various quests and side quests that would just take too long to get into for this video. But if you're interested, make sure you check the link in the description or the card on screen now for a complete breakdown of how to unlock them all. I feel like this tip is kind of an obvious one, but don't use your gold until the later parts of the game. Gold is a resource that you can gather at various points throughout the game. It can be a treasure for certain side quests, it can be a reward for the battle pass system that we'll touch on later in the video, and its purpose is pretty cool. It gets whatever weapon or armor you have in your inventory, particularly, those that you get at an early stage in the game, and it brings it all the way up to your current level, so you don't have to spend a bunch of resources and money to upgrade it. It's just a really easy way to get a weapon that you enjoy using to the highest possible quality. The issue is that if you're level 15 or 20 or 25, it doesn't make sense to use the gold because you still have to upgrade it from that point onwards. So save as much gold as possible until you reach those higher levels. The highest level in Assassin's Creed Shadows is level 60, and then go crazy, spend all your gold and enjoy the fruits of your labor. In AC Shadows, these synchronization points unlock fast travel, but also these are often found in conjunction with a bunch of legendary chests and rare items. So it's my recommendation that you actually hit as many of these synchronization points as early as possible to unlock some of the goodies that are waiting within. In particular, focus on the castles, because if you go there and take down the samurai daishos, you'll be able to unlock some legendary weapons and armor that are some of the best in the game. After unlocking knowledge rank 2 and beyond, you'll be able to take down entire health bars when assassinating enemies in the game. This goes for your standard enemies and some of the bigger elite enemies. Now, while this is incredible and I recommend that you try to upgrade these as quickly as possible, in the settings there's actually an option where you can make assassinations a one-hit kill forever. So you're not going to be reliant on how many health bars an enemy has. It's as simple as, can you assassinate them? Yes? Okay, cool. They're dead. Some people might think this is just an overly easy way to do stealth mechanics in Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think it makes it a little bit more immersive because there aren't many people that I know that can survive a blade to the throat. Naoe has a bunch of incredible tools at her disposal. The kunai knives are pretty much always a one-hit kill. The shurikens can distract enemies and also do some decent damage as you upgrade things. But nobody really talks about the smoke bombs, and I think that is a very underutilized tool in AC Shadows. Not only are they a get-out-of-jail-free card, being able to drop them whenever you want to and just being able to run away and lose that visibility, but they pretty much guarantee assassination. So if you combine this with the last tip and also use something like the Tanto, you can take out entire hideouts of enemies just by dropping a couple of these and making quick work of everybody in the area. We've spoken a bit in this video about adjusting settings to suit your playstyle. Now, some people like an easy ride, other people like doing things the hard way. AC Shadows, however, introduced a very new and complicated mechanic where you have to use scouts to be able to determine the location that you have to go to complete quests. I don't like this, and many other people in the community don't like this, which is why there is also in the settings an option that turns guided exploration on or off. You will see a little warning as you go to toggle it off and make your life a little bit easier, and it says that you could lose out on some achievements. Now, from my research, the only achievement you're going to be missing out on is the scouting mission, which you unlock just by finding and revealing one location in the game with a scout. So go ahead and use one scout to reveal one location, get the achievement, and then you can turn guided exploration on and just enjoy the game like a normal game and not have to hunt down the quest locations. Okay, so I think we're all aware that Assassin's Creed Shadows has a season mechanic built into it, and it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. For me, it's one of the coolest features in the game. And did you know you can actually check how far along in a season you are by having a look right over here in the map menu? Now, this probably seems really obvious to a lot of people, but I didn't know that this was a thing until like 20 hours in. I probably just missed a prompt or a dialogue box, but I was just praying that a season didn't switch before I got to use all of my scouts, and this is a bit of a lifesaver. If anybody doesn't know how seasons work in Assassin's Creed Shadows, essentially after a certain amount of playtime they will switch, and all of the enemy outposts, all of the scouts, resources and contracts will all renew. So the idea is you want to use all of your scouts, get as many resources as possible, complete all the contracts, get some money, and then when the next season starts, it brings a whole new sense of replayability to the game. Assassin's Creed Shadows has microtransactions, and that puts a lot of people off, and I completely understand it. But did you know that there's actually a way of getting a lot of that stuff for free? See, in the game, you can open up the Animus, and inside of the Animus, you have a variety of things called shadow projects, and there's going to be more coming at some point in the future. Essentially, you can unlock various rewards, outfits, gold, and keys by completing anomalies, which are essentially just very short little missions, such as taking out a powerful enemy or a group, very similar to contracts, but these quests refresh every couple of days, so you can slowly work your way through the shadow projects as a kind of battle pass, and then using those keys that you unlock, you can then head over to the exchange and you'll be able to unlock all the things you would normally have to pay for, but for free. And there we go. That's pretty much everything for this video. Subscribe for more videos just like this, and make sure you check out my complete guide on how to find all 9 scouts scattered throughout the world of Assassin's Creed Shadows so that you're able to get the most from your resources and everything this game has to offer. YouTube's also recommending a video that's on screen now. Apparently you're gonna like it. Let me know if they do a good job. I love your faces, you're amazing, you're beautiful, and I'll catch you in the next one.